Hello, everyone. I'm Yvette Walker, Outlook editor, and we're here today to talk about the Outlook section, which comes out in the Oklahoman newspaper this Sunday. Outlook is a progress edition. How are we doing here in Oklahoma City? And it's an annual one. Every year we have a different theme, and this year is all about social media, new media, and innovative technology. And there's quite a bit going on here in Oklahoma City and the metro area. We have with us some of the reporters that have contributed stories to this edition, and they're here to talk to us about what their stories are all about. We have Tim Willard, who is here to talk about a new app, and a new policy about bullying and cyberbullying, and it's a real problem in the schools. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, it's a growing problem. More and more kids, even kids as young as elementary school age, are using social media applications to harass and threaten and bully other kids. And more school districts are developing, policy or revising policies that they relate to bullying, to kind of address this.
Well, it sounds like it's a real problem, and in fact, you talked to two parents that had this issue with their daughter, and the schools had to do something about it, right?
Well, I'm not sure that the kids were disciplined outside of maybe being sent home for the day or something. It was more in, I'm getting a little feedback here. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, but it was more a situation where it was kind of an embarrassing thing. Some girls posted some embarrassing photos of a slumber party online, and they were kind of ridiculed the next day at school. And the other instance was a parent whose daughter apparently was the subject of a book page dedicated to trashing her reputation. This girl was 11 at the time, and she didn't even know that there was a site or a post up on Facebook that students were responding to that put her in a bad light. And apparently a fellow parent told her that her daughter was the subject of this site. So this is rapidly becoming a problem, and it's fueled in part by the popularity of social media applications. I mean, some of these applications, kids are getting on and trading, photographs that are inappropriate. They're saying inappropriate things, and in most cases, their parents are involved because they don't have the experience. They don't ask their kids. So it's becoming a problem, and some school district administrators are trying to teach kids to be responsible cyber citizens and how to use social media responsibly. Anyways, sorry.
Oh, no, that's really great. I know they're going to have, they'll take away quite a bit from the article that you have in Sunday. But if they have that one question, if I think this is happening to my child, or if the teacher's thinking it's happening to my student, what should they do?
Well, I talked to an administrator at an elementary school in Edmond, and he said it's important for parents to have their children's passwords, to know to look at their phones, to not. Tim,
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if everyone else can hear.
Can you hear me now? Sounds like
yes. Go ahead, a little bit.
I'm just saying, I talked to a principal from an elementary school in Edmond who is considered an expert in this matter, and what he tells parents to do is know what their children are, know what sites their children are on, know their passwords, demand to see them, and know what's on there, and that's what he told me. He said parents can't pretend like they don't know, or they don't want to hurt their child's feelings. It's important for them to know what their kids are up to, and that's part of. He teaches parents, here's what you need to look for, and demand access to their phone. I don't know if demand's the right word, but insist that that kids that what your kids are doing online.
Well, I mean, it's a caring thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I know that You have another story to work on, and I think you have to leave us, but I really appreciate it. Everyone should definitely get a copy of the Outlook edition this Saturday or this Sunday so they can read more about your story and some other stories that you have in there as well. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Yvette.
Next we have Dave Cathy, otherwise known as the Food Dude. Hi, Dave.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Dave wrote about, he has several articles and about grocery stores that have some innovative technology, but also about restaurants and food trucks that basically have made their success through social media. Is that right?
Partially, yeah, definitely in the beginning. Food trucks nationally, very much driven by social media. In Oklahoma City, definitely in the beginning stages, but it has evolved with other things. That's just an entryway, really. But the food truck scene here is really growing. Anybody who went to H&H last month saw between 15 and 20,000 people showed up basically to hang out with food trucks, and that actually goes on. It continues tonight. The next H&H is tonight. And I'll be very interested to see if they grow it again, especially with the Arts Festival going on.
Well, that's great because we have a big spread in the edition about the event at H&H, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event again tonight. And it keeps developing, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. The initial idea was why couldn't we just have a place to hang out here, on 8th Street near Hudson Avenue. Between the owner of Elemental Coffees and Coop Ale Works. And so they put their idea into action and started out with a very small group and has grown gradually throughout. Last year it topped out around 8,500, and so like I said, this last time it was 15,000. So they've actually expanded that. It's going to be a couple of blocks longer than it was, and I was actually told yesterday that they would like to eventually extend it all the way up to 10th Street and bring in this Class and Circle and make it a really huge event.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Again, we've got some great stories in the edition from you. I really appreciate it, and thanks for being here with us.
You bet.
We also have Carla Hinton, who is the religion editor, and she has written some stories for us about what churches are doing to entice more people to come to church, to let people know what's happening in the church. And it also is through new media, through social media, and through an app. Carla, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. Well, one of the first places I started out was Life Church. They are known for their popular YouVersion Bible app and so many other innovative things that they've done through social media and other technology. And I talked to Bobby Grunwald, who is their pastor innovation leader who created the popular Bible app. And he told me that they always knew from the very beginning, once social media was created, like Facebook and Twitter, that they were going to have a presence there because they want to be wherever people are, because that is one of the important ways that they can spread the message of the gospel.
And because more and more people are into technology, just about everybody has a smartphone. Everyone has access, not everyone, but most people have access to some sort of mobile technology. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's what Bobby Grunwald said. He said this is a way for people to connect, for believers to connect, and maybe to connect with people who are not believers outside the four walls of the church. And he said they have had much success. As a matter of fact, they started Church Online in 2006, and so they've been leveraging social media through that avenue as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really like to use the word connect, because when we're talking about church especially, you have a connection, you have a community. And if we're also seeing that with social media, I can see how you might have the same thing going. And because it's new and fun, people enjoy using it.
Right. And that brings me to another story I have about Twitter. I talked to the Reverend Scott Williams of Edmond, and he's a funny guy, pretty neat, innovative. I'd already done a story on him, and I found out, I think it was late last year, that he was named on churchleader.com's top 100 Christian leaders to follow on Twitter. And this is the interesting thing about him, is that he was in the top 10 of 100 leaders. I think the first one was Joel Osteen, out
That's
of
amazing.
Houston.
Here in Oklahoma City,
Yes,
that's great.
yes. So I talked to him, and he was very interesting, and he kind of gave me his personal philosophy. He calls it the 3D, the three dimensions of Twitter. He calls it Twitter 3D, about how churches, people like himself, pastors, church leaders, and other believers can really leverage Twitter and make it work for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to, well, obviously it's very successful for them already. I think it probably will grow. I can see how people would really be interested in that, and it's something they can always carry in their back pocket or in their purse, and it's right there. So, again, Carla has several stories. I hope you'll definitely check them out. Carla, thank you so much for being with us today. Really
Sure.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And we have actually someone who's joined us. Anthony, how are you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Really good. This is Anthony Slater. He's a Thunder writer, and he wrote some stories for us about some new technology going on at the Peak. Is that right?
Not only just Chesapeake Energy Arena, really every NBA arena across the country, they've kind of implemented these. They're called Sports VU trackers. They track the movements of every player on the court, the ball. Literally, I think they take something like 6 snapshots per second, so they can just track everything that's going on within the court, and it's produced some really cool stats.
That's really great. And as you know, sports is all about statistics. But now if you can have technology actually capturing it in real time, I can imagine that's going to only help the team, help the players, and help the consumers, the fans, right?
Yeah, the consumers for sure. They've actually made these stats public, so they're fun to look at. Easier for us. I can, if I see a trend on the court, I can go and use some of these numbers to back up my claim, to put it in my story. Plus, it's good for, I think the best use of it's for the scouting department of teams. They can really figure out what players, matter, what they're good at, why they're valuable to the team. It's really, basketball isn't the only sport. Pretty much every sport's kind of, with this new age of technology, it's kind of, everyone's getting more smarter about the sport and the decision making surrounding the sport.
Uh-oh, you could say armchair quarterback, although we're mixing sports now.
Yeah, well, definitely Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about with you is an idea that actually came out of sports, and I think it's one of the best things we have in the section, and that is the digital 50. There's some that are 50 actual people for you to follow on Twitter, and in some cases it's 25. But sports came up with this great idea. Who do we follow, and who might it be great for you to follow? So you guys came up with that. I really love that idea. The consumers and the fans can see who you guys actually, talk to and follow on Twitter. And so we're making that available to them. And I think that's going to be a great list for people. Was it difficult to give up all your secrets?
No, because how Twitter's so public.
That's true.
That when you see a tweet, even if somebody's not following, you want to retweet that, and you want everyone to see what you're seeing. It's become a really interesting way to help your coverage, help cover your beat. It's some of my favorite people I follow are people that work within the department. The guy that covers OU, well, he's giving me all this OU news, OSU. I'm giving Thunder coverage, but also the guy I work with, Darnell, sometimes he'll tweet something about the Thunder that I need to see. So there's so many people out there, and Twitter's become such an interesting way to get so much info so quickly.
Yeah, and I love it though, because true enough, I could go to your page and I could see everyone that you're following, but it's going to take me some time to do that. Here, this is a nice ready-made list of you and the other people in the sports department who've actually said, here, we're going to tell you who we follow. So thanks for doing that. I think it's going to be it is a great list. And I think it's going to be very helpful to people who are interested in that. So again, thanks for that. And thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Well, Outlook is always a great section every year. We're going to, I think, have just as much success this year. And it's available for you Sunday. We have it in 4 different sections. It's the things that we talk about every year, the way we live, and that is lifestyles, what we're doing every day, sports, what we're interested in. And then we also have advancements in health, business and technology, and also education and careers. So those 4 different areas, you'll find out, again, what's happening in social media, new media, innovative technology, what's going on here in Oklahoma City and in the metro area. And one very quick thing, we had this last year and we brought it back because it was so popular. We had our Instagram contest where people took photographs, and we'll be revealing to you who won. And this year, of course, because we all watched the Academy Awards and we saw the Ellen selfie, you know we had to do our own selfies. So we asked people to take a selfie of yourself in Oklahoma City, and you'll be able to see the top winners and the grand prize winner. So again, hope you enjoy Outlook this year. We really enjoyed putting it together for you. And thanks for being here with us today. Bye-bye.